Warning, the following contains material that may be too disturbing to some people. Descriptions of violence, mature situations, and adult themes. This is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, we are live. Welcome to Forest of Flesh, episode 85. How have you guys been the past couple of weeks? We've had Christmas, we've had New Year.
Yes.
Happy New Year, everybody. First live stream of the new year. I hope you guys all have had fantastic holidays. Thank you guys all for being here. Looking forward to another year of, I don't know, insanity, wild, wacky tabletop videos, hanging out with you guys. It's been real. So, thank you guys for being here. What's been going on? How have we been? What have we been doing besides working with busted pipes in our house and stuff like that? Ella?
Cleaning up after the busted pipe.
All right. Well, I've gotten back into ARGs, and I was just telling these guys about this. An analog horror series and stuff like the Mandela Catalog and the Hypnagogic Archive and Studio 58 and stuff like that. Big shout out to all those things. I love those things. It definitely won't impact you guys at all that I've been reliving all of my favorite analog horror and ARG stuffs. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not us. I'm sure it's the Broken Crew that's gonna deal with that stuff.
Don't worry, there's plenty for both of you. All right. Let's put the social media posts out. And let's do this. Let's go around the horn and do the thing where we tell people who we are and what we're playing today. Why don't we start with you, Ella?
Sure. Hi, I'm Ella. I am playing Fang, a Fey-lost Caracal Tabaxi cub who has chosen the path of a Fey Wanderer Ranger.
Right on. Thank you. And what else do we know about Fang?
Fang's best friend, according to Fang, is Indigo. Who is normally played by Tim, but he cannot be here today. So we'll be finding Indigo in the future. Fang also is very curious about things, but also sometimes they're not so good at remembering they gotta be cautious.
Impulsive, perhaps.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Maybe
Such
a little...
as sharing their name, even though they shouldn't be sometimes.
Yeah, a little naive. Sure, I think that's fair. A little bit mischievous sometimes.
Of course, that comes with being from the Feywilds.
Yeah, like shiny things.
Love shiny things. Just picked up a shiny thing that is now Fang's favorite shiny thing.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Ella. Next up, we got Kyo. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Kyo. I play Lumaki. He is a former cloud giant turned fairy, and he's a Rune Knight barbarian.
And
We recently got him a gem that lets him turn into one. But he's not going to be using it for the immediate future because he needs to help his friends.
we'll turn him back into a giant. May also wipe his memory. May.
Yep. He doesn't really remember his life before that, before he turned into a fairy.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks, Kyo. Ferdy. Tell us who you are, what you do. Ferdy? Ferdisofly?
He's talking, but
Can you guys hear me? Yay!
That's Wolf. Wolf, we can hear you. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm having issues with my mic too.
Oh no. Nobody's mics are working. Well, Ferdy, can we come back to Ferdy? Since we got Wolf for the time being, maybe we'll just go to Wolf. Maybe I'll introduce both of you.
So, I am Wolf. I am playing Will, a sort of sentient tree person paladin guy.
A tree person paladin guy.
Yes.
Just your friendly sentient tree.
PPPG.
All right. And what else do we know about Will? We know he has a brother, potentially.
Yeah, he has a brother. He has some knowledge of like previous events in the game. He has basically had the audience's point of view.
Yes, throughout the whole
up until his awakening.
Yeah, throughout the whole course of the show, basically.
So he's not as lost as he would be.
He also has someone sharing his brain right now, sort of.
Oh yeah. I try to ignore that guy.
Right on. Cool. Well, thank you. Oh, we lost Ferdy.
Ferdy's fixing something, I'm guessing.
Ferdy has left the chat.
if you want him to do his intro, you can talk through my phone now.
Okay, sure, that'd be fine. Just bad timing.
Hello?
Hey, Ferdy, tell us who you are, what you do.
Okay. Alright, my name's Ferdy, and I'm playing the Shaggy Sha'ah. He's a cryo centaur. He's half human, well, technically half elf, half sheep.
Awesome.
He went to this journey to find love. He found his dear on Keat. Unfortunately, they're separated at the moment.
Yes. And last we saw on Keat, she watched Tulpa do something very bad to the Arachnomancer. Helped unalive them in Minecraft, as you might say. All right. Thank you very much, Ferdy. So why don't we do this? I haven't tested this. Hopefully you guys will be able to see. If not, I will fix it. But we fade in on a different scene. We see the wood floors of a ship. In the background, we see a blanket of sort of stars, and like the technicolor clouds of the ethereal plane. It seems to stretch on forever. As the camera sort of pans across the surface of this ship, we see its fin-like sails. We see several people aboard the deck of the ship having a battle with these creatures. Many of them look like this. Some of them seem to appear from nowhere. They have 4 arms, they carry some weapons, and they begin attacking the people on the ship. They're led by a one that's slightly bigger than the rest. And we fade across the people on the ship, and eventually we come to Indigo, who is in the middle of a battle. The camera flips upside down as it pans out, and we're now looking down on the ship from above. As the camera sort of zooms out and away from the combat, we hear the clashing of swords fading into the distance. We maybe hear like a couple of the people call out battle commands. 2 of them whirling up spells. 3, I guess, actually, if you count Indigo. He would probably be casting some magic. Indigo looks wounded. He's still just as wounded as he was when he left your side. So fairly wounded. He did not have... He was probably about a third of his HP. Last we saw Indigo. And as the camera zooms out above this ship, it quickly flips around and faces the opposite direction. So the ship would now be behind the camera. As it does this, we see below the ground. So the ship is sort of like upside down above the ground. The area sort of we see like this bubble, like a soap bubble film pass over the area as the ethereal background shifts, and when we see the ground, we see a doorway in this like cavern, this rocky stone cavern with corpses, and we see this doorway that seemingly leads to nowhere in the middle of this cavern, and then we fade into the Master's Sanctum with you all. Let's see here. Oh, I was like, I can't see for a second there. I started to freak out. And the lighting is still really hard on the browser. Moves a little slow on this map, but that's fine.
Speaking of lighting, I don't know if you changed it yet, but because of the orb that Fang picked up, Fang's dark vision is now 120 feet instead of just 60.
Let me make sure that is correct. 120 feet instead of 60. Okay. Should be
Thank you.
fixed. You're welcome. All right. Now, I believe the last thing that was going on here was you all were talking about turning Lumaki back to being a giant and how to do it. I think you got the spell stored in the gem. And yeah, I think you're basically in the middle of a conversation with Ubrimah. I think you guys already rested.
Yeah, we did. I think for Lumaki, one of us had asked if we used the true polymorph spell on him to turn him into what we think is what his original form was, if he would still remember us. And I think we determined he probably won't. And then he would have even more of a hard time remembering his original memories. So I think we're going to try and find a way to revert him back without using the true polymorph. And he was only going to use that spell as a last resort.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the idea. And you guys, I think, know as players, maybe not as characters, that it's like a wish spell, right? Something like that. I think that's right. Let me check it.
Yeah, I don't know. I do remember Ubrimah saying he didn't have the spell, so I don't know if he was.
Yeah, I remember him saying it's possible you could find somebody that can do it, but it would have to be someone of considerable power, he said.
Yeah, I just can't remember if he said what the spell was or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he did. I don't think I would have been like, it's a wish spell. I might have had him say something a little more RP than that, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to think I would, but who knows?
We'll go with that since we don't remember.
Yeah. So, what's going on here? What's the plan, guys? What are you all doing? Maybe a few minutes have passed. Up to you guys. As we fade back in, what are you all doing?
Had we decided how we're getting out of here? Was it through Ubrimah's magic?
I don't think you really decided.
Like, he's good now, right? I'm pretty sure.
He is. He's still a dead guy. I mean, he's good, as in he's not going insane constantly.
Right.
Like, he fixed that problem.
So he's not gonna have
He's
to
a
make
dead guy.
save.
He was a lich.
Yeah, well,
That's his natural state.
technically, he was undead. now he's a ghost, which I guess is also an undead creature technically, but it's different.
It's a different flavor.
His soul's been split in half, basically, and he was saying something about trying to figure out which half he was. He did mention that at some point. He was like wondering if he was the body or the spirit. I remember him saying something about that. Yeah.
To remember. It's been a little bit since we did this.
I know that
It's been a
Fang
little bit, yeah.
is currently, because the sending stone is something that they have that Indigo gave them, so they're using the sending stone, like keeping it out of the bag of holding and like on their person, maybe in a pouch or something, and like hoping that between that and like keep thinking about Indigo that he'll be able to find them again. And that's most of what Fang is doing, because Fang woke up very eager to be the anchor that Indigo needs to be.
Right on.
Or needs to get back to us, I mean.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right. So maybe as we fade back in, the camera pans across Fang for a second, and we hear Ubrimah saying, I can perhaps try to get you back to where you were going it would be quite difficult unless I know the place.
Out of character question.
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
he have a permanent spell focus at this point? He has the book, right?
You guys gave him the book, yeah.
Okay. He's been kind of just pirate standing on the big orb taken from the dragon horde. He'll bend down, pick it up, and you mentioned this thing might be able to get us where we're going.
Yeah, you present the red orb to him.
Yeah. You take a closer look.
Mm.
I assume now that he can like identify.
Yeah, he can. Let me see here. Let me take a look at his stuff. Ubrimah the Ambivalent. Let's see here. He does have Identify. Okay. Oh, jeez Louise, man. All right. He grabs the he holds his hand out and grabs the orb from you. And he stares into it. All right. Where's your thing? There we go. Identify. You choose one object you must touch throughout the casting of the spell, which casting time is instantaneous. 1 minute. Okay, there we go. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties, how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, and how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. If you instead touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it. He can also ritually cast it. Can he? Doesn't say ritual.
If that'll be relevant at all. It identify as a ritual.
I don't know why it doesn't say ritual on it on Roll20.
Because you probably grabbed a like monsters don't usually ritual cast. That's a player thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. Well, he'll do it as a ritual then.
So he's gonna take a few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then one other thing we'll want to do, if he's like, looks like he's doing some magic-y stuff. What is Fang doing right now?
Standing in the doorway.
Fang is standing in the doorway holding their half of the sending stones, and is actively using it to tell Indigo the plan.
Okay.
But they because it's only like 25 words, right? So they're only able to get half of the plan to him and have to wait for him to like cast it through his stone to get the rest of the plan. So right now, Fang is whispering to the sending stone, Indigo, plan! Ubrimah said I could be your anchor for you to find us. Sending stone and me thinking about you will make anchor stronger. And then it cuts off, because that's 25 words.
Yeah. Or does Fang just keep going?
Yeah, Fang's still going, but we'll realize that it's not working anymore after like another sentence or two.
I'm going to dig something out of my bag and go over to Fang and just wait for them to finish.
Okay.
What?
Hey, Fang.
Ubrimah starts
What's that?
to walk this way while you do that.
So, while he's ritually casting? Okay. So if I understand it right, you're the way that Indigo gets back?
He knows me best, so I'm the best anchor.
Okay.
Can there be multiple anchors? Or just you?
Well, that's why he also gave me this, and Ubrimah said that things that once belonged to him can also help. So that's why I'm using this too. And Fang shows you guys the sending stone. Maybe you guys could be, because he kind of knows you.
I'll do my best to try and keep him in mind. That's what you're doing, is just thinking of him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Will is gonna hand Fang one of the bracelets with, I think it was sapphire set in it. My notes are incomplete.
One of the bracelets you just got?
Yeah, it was a platinum bracelet with a sapphire. Oh, that's right. Could you put this on, Fang?
Okay.
And then Will
Fang's eyes
takes
are
out
sparkling at the
Go.
shiny being offered.
the...
But they also, like, don't put it on right away, because they also remember they have another shiny that they like more.
Will, while you're like looking at it, then Will takes out the other one and puts it on his own wrist. If you're wearing that, I can help you out if you get in trouble. I can
Really?
protect you, but-
How? This is a special bracelet then?
Sorta, yeah. Just lets me make a connection between the two.
Okay.
That
Fang will
way,
put
if
it
you're
on.
alive, Indigo can come back.
What do you mean, if I'm alive?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna try and keep you alive so Indigo has his anchor.
I mean, we're all trying to keep each other alive anyways.
Right.
Okay.
So, explain for the layman what has just happened. You gave her the bracelet?
I'm assuming you'll let me do this because it's not that big a deal. But it's just as a material component for warding bond instead of rings, using the bracelets.
Pair of
both made
platinum
of platinum.
rings. Which it's definitely worth more.
Yeah.
So you're both wearing identical bracelets because you did get two of them, right?
Yep. I give one to Fang.
That's why you were confirming if they were platinum or not.
Yeah. I've been waiting because that's a good ability and I haven't been able to use it yet.
I think that's a
I forgot
great.
to buy rings.
I think that's a great way to do that. Typically, I don't require you to have the physical components. I would just be like spin the gold or whatever. But in this
I haven't had
case,
that either.
yeah, okay, all right. Well,
Until we got
Works
that
out.
horde, I had 0 gold.
Well, glad I gave you guys that horde then. In this case, I think that using the bracelets, you don't have to pay the gold cost at the very least. Now, the bracelets are worth considerably more than that, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's just something.
It was either 150 or 250, I think?
It's 2,500 each.
Yeah.
Oh, 2,000. It's way
Yeah.
more than
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
remembering.
I mean, they're not consumed when we
Jeez.
use them. They're just there as like a focus. So
While within 60 feet, gets a +1 to AC and saves, and resistance to all damage for 1 hour. You also take the same amount of damage if either gets hit.
So she would take half damage, and then I would basically take the other half. Is how it ends up playing out.
Oh, okay. The spell ends if you drop to 0. Target becomes separated by more than 60 feet. Also
And
ends.
since there is a range component on this, I will say, when I do this, I'll try to tell you, if you do get too far away from me, the magic won't work. You got to stay somewhat nearby.
How far is too far? Because I like to move around a lot.
You know, I don't know exactly how far. I guess we could test it.
Okay, let's do it.
But you should feel the magic, and if you don't feel it anymore, you went too far.
Well, the spell ends, and then you gotta recast it. You waste
Yeah.
a spell.
So just whenever you can, just. And we might not need it. This is only if you get in trouble.
What is it? When you cast the spell and you're both wearing the bracelets, what does it look like? What does it feel like? Because you're essentially like sharing life force, sharing damage.
know.
Like there's probably a lot you could do with that.
I don't know. I hadn't thought of that part.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to know. It's okay. All right. Cool. Good idea.
So we're taking the same amount of damage, not splitting it. Is that?
No,
You're splitting it.
You're taking
Splitting
half
it.
of the damage that you would, and then I also take the same amount as you.
Oh, okay.
So
I was
we each
just
take
trying
half.
to figure out because there's the single sentence. Also, each time it takes damage, you take the same amount of damage. Is that when the bracelet takes damage? Then
No, it's
No,
when.
it's when
So
you
you
that's just the
get
target.
you get resistance to all damage. So you take half from all sources, and then
Okay.
but anytime you take damage, the other person takes damage too, same amount. So basically, instead of taking the full damage when you get hit, you take half damage. The other half goes to the other person.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like they could have worded that spell better, but
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Alright.
you cast the spell then?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't
Indigo
always decide.
doesn't know if you've cast it on them already or not. And Fang will just say, "Okay, so I'll go this way, and you go way over there, and we'll see if it works."
I mean, we could, but why don't we just say something like 40 feet?
You want me to count out 40 feet every time?
Yeah, there's got to be a better way to do this.
I think it's good if we do it now, and I can just look at how far away you are, and then when we're on the battlefield, I can just look at how far away you are and make sure I don't go that far away.
Suppose there's nothing for it. Yep, let's do it.
You guys just stick together. Not that hard.
But Will is gonna cast Warding Bond
All right. Yeah,
on Fang, obviously.
you cast Warding Bond, and we see for a moment in the air there's like a thread that connects the two of you. It looks similar to a thread we saw. I don't know if it was the Arachnomancer encounter or if it was the Sha'ah would have probably seen this more so than the others. Except for Will, actually, I think. No, actually, no. The Mind Flayer boss encounter with in the tree did something similar, but it was like a negative energy version of it. So it's like it looks like that. That was like a red beam that connected two people. This probably looks green or something like that, I would think.
Okay. All right. Just try to go to the other side of that room and see if that's too
Okay.
far? Or...
Fang starts going. Every time Fang takes a few steps, Fang turns around and looks at Will like, we're still good. We're still good.
Do you feel the magic?
Do I?
You probably.
I think I would.
Yeah, you probably would.
It has to be a willing creature, so I would assume so. I
Yeah.
think it has to be a willing
A
creature.
mystic connection.
Yeah, willing creature.
So I think you would feel something. It's up to you what it feels like, I think. Be similar to like concentrating on a spell or something like that.
So,
Just like a protective presence.
Yeah.
the most Fang can go is 35 feet this way, so you're gonna have to start moving away once Fang's.
It's still working. All right, let me back up. And we'll just, a few steps at a time. Is there actually treasure there?
Yeah, I mean, there's treasure on the ground, yeah.
Go around it.
That's where he pulled the gem from, the diamond that he gave you.
I think that's... Okay, a few more. And I think that would be the max, right? Yeah.
60 feet, that is the max.
And he just keeps going.
All right, as soon as you
feel the spell go away.
Yeah, as soon as you take a step further, you feel the spell dissipate and ends. That connection is broken.
So, Fang, this would be too far. Let me move a little closer. I think somewhere right around here is like the farthest you could get.
Okay, I think I can do that.
The spell is gone
Fang-
now.
Yeah, Fang takes a moment to like really examine the distance and get it stuck in their head, and then just start moving again.
Sure.
Use my channel divinity to recover the spell slot.
All right.
I could sure use a short rest now.
Yeah, as you walk across the room, you probably look around while you're walking across the room. Ubrimah has walked over to this spot here. I guess Lumaki is hanging out with him. He's ritually casting something on the globe still. But a desk has appeared here. With some it's got a chair and some books and stuff, some papers with like sigils and stuff on them. And he's probably still gonna be working on that for a few minutes. So.
He at the desk.
No, the desk just appeared there. Like he on his way while he was walking over here, he like waved one of his hands, and the desk just appeared.
Yeah, he controls this place.
I mean, he has all this free space. He probably uses it for various things, right? All this empty space. There's probably all kinds of things he could pull in if he wanted to.
How long will it take you to do this, Ubrimah?
He's probably like concentrating on this thing and chanting some words, tracing some runes in the air. Like holding his hands over it. He may like set it down on the desk for a moment while he takes a seat, and he says, "A few more minutes. Just give me some time." It's an intriguing object, and he goes back to what he was doing.
Like fly over him, looking over his shoulder as he does it.
Yeah, he seems irritated, but he doesn't say anything. He's too busy focusing on the pondering the orb.
Did I miss something?
Ella's asking in the Discord what happened to all the treasure items.
I just wanted to make sure they got put in somebody's inventory because I forgot about them until you brought them up.
The only thing I grabbed was those bracelets, so no. I thought someone else grabbed them.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Lumaki and Sha'ah, you guys want to hold on to those treasure items since I feel like Will and Fang are full of gold and platinum and whatnot.
We went over them twice, right?
They're somewhere.
I think
thought
we
they'd gone
got
somewhere.
over them after game because we forgot what the last one was, so we were trying to make sure we had a proper count.
Scroll up to in table talking to like, it's just a little bit up.
Here, I'll put a reply so that you guys could get to them easier.
Thank you.
Alright, so you guys have, just to reiterate, 9 pieces of art worth 2,500 gold each, consisting of a fine gold chain set with a fire opal, the 2 platinum bracelets with sapphires, a gold circlet with 4 aquamarines, 2 necklace strings of small pink pearls, a small golden box engraved with a scarab, and embroidered glove set with jeweled chips.
And then the last one was an eye patch with a mock eye set with a blue sapphire and moonstone.
Oh yeah.
Question. If we don't need the material components, does that apply to like revive spells as well? We don't need a diamond? We can just pay the cost?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way we've been treating material components. I think the only thing... Let me take... I think that's how we did it. Yeah, you would just pay the gold costs. If you have the gold.
Start doing... I remember having to make one of my spell thingies when I was Vash, like very early game.
There might have been certain conditions. I thought we'd always been doing that. I thought you and I talked about doing that.
I think you did that. Was it like a gold-coated pine cone or something?
Yeah,
I think you
did
that just for the
Flavor?
roleplay flair of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was something that Ramblinman was actually requiring because I don't remember if you ever, if you did ask him, it wasn't where I was hearing. So.
Okay.
Let me look up Resurrection or something that has those components.
Raise Dead and or Revivify, I think, be the 2.
Well, Resurrection is a diamond worth 1,000 gold.
That one too. Yeah, they all take a material component.
Diamond worth 500 gold, which the spell consumes. Yeah, I mean, I would probably just let you spend the 500 gold. The resurrection stuff is the only thing I'd be tempted to like make you go and buy the item first.
That's why I asked.
It's the only thing that I would even be slightly tempted to do that with. But I'm gonna say material. You just spend the gold.
Okay.
You spend the gold, like that's how it works mechanically, but narratively, you picked it up at some point. Even if you say you didn't have gold before this.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Are you guys stealing treasure? Is that what's going on here? While these
pieces of art, the gold chain, I was wondering who took which.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The ones we were talking about.
Okay, I thought you were taking treasure off the ground here.
No.
For sure, I disagree with them anyways.
All right, fair enough.
Sha'ah's just gonna take all of it, not leave any for Lumaki. I mean, I think we're all splitting it eventually anyway.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Coins. Did we figure out what we were doing with those coins that we got from that treasure hoard?
Yeah, they got split up between mine and Fang's bags of holding, I believe.
And Indigo's as well before he disappeared on us.
I don't know if we agreed on that.
I think you guys did. I think you guys did agree on
We
that.
did. I think we put all the copper and silver coins in his bag.
Oh, the real low stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And Ella, you added that to his inventory, right?
I am pretty sure I did. Let me.
'Cause you had control of his sheet. Let me check.
Yeah.
Core.
Oh yeah. Oh, there was no copper and silver. It was just
and
gold.
platinum.
You gave
So-
him 25,000 gold.
He's got- Yeah, that's. And then Fang.
Well, I said I
and
don't think we all agreed
Will-
on that, but
Yeah, we had to. We didn't have space for everything otherwise.
Yeah,
So
we don't.
Will-
you have a bag of holding?
Yeah, even with the
Yeah,
bag of
no,
holding.
let me-
yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
20
let me
each
finish.
and then
Will-
25 in his. Yeah.
Yeah, Will and Fang split the gold and platinum into their bags of 10,250 gold and then 12,500 platinum. And then Indigo took all of just the rest of the gold that we couldn't fit. Because we wouldn't be able to carry it all otherwise. The bag of holdings wouldn't hold enough
Yeah,
to take it, so.
Yeah, they can still only hold so much volume and coins, while little thousands and thousands of them take up more space.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's split between 3 bags of holding because we wouldn't have been able to carry it all otherwise. And then the normal treasure items, I figure Lumaki and Sha'ah should hold on to just in case we get separated again.
Makes sense.
Well, looks like Sha'ah took all of them, so.
Except for 2 bracelets.
All right. So you guys just wait for Ubrimah to get done with the orb, or you want to do anything
Yeah,
else?
that's all that we'll have.
Yeah, Lumaki's just watching over him.
Okay. All right. Let's see something here. Okay.
I thought he wasn't making saves anymore.
He's not for that. This is a different thing. This has to do with the orb. But he's fine. Let me just roll a dice here for no reason. Okay, yeah, he's fine. I rolled a 4. Okay. So there is a moment when he starts staring into this orb, and you can see the sort of like flesh landscape inside of it writhing around if you're looking at it, Lumaki, because you're looking over his shoulder. He's like focused and sort of lost in thought, and then there's a moment where his gaze sort of becomes less intense, and he looks up at you all, and he says, best not to try to use this, I think. What are you?
Why?
What
What?
is it exactly?
What's wrong with it?
It's can't be trusted. What you have here is the heart of Gloon, the Flash. It's
Can we destroy it?
Set it on the ground. I'm gonna try and smash it.
he raises an eyebrow at you and he says, "Not sure that is a good idea either. You're welcome to try.
Why not?
It's a very powerful magical artifact. Who knows what could happen? it's destroyed, it might destroy all of us.
Most things die when they lose their heart, don't they?
They can. It's
Seems worth it.
strange how it was separated from it. It could be used to get you where you want to go, I think, if one knew what they were doing. I don't want to take the risk. It seems it can corrupt.
Corrupt how? Only if you use it?
He nods.
So this thing is the actual heart of Gloon? Who's Gloon?
That'd be the flesh.
He nods.
Oh,
The thing that
Wait,
controls all that.
can we just destroy it?
That's what we're talking about.
He raises the orb over his head with both his hands. Nobody doesn't says anything.
I mean, what does it look like he's doing?
He's about to smash it on the ground.
Oh.
It was a question. What happens if you destroy it?
He says, "Don't know. Probably can't like this."
I have an idea. You know how that spell you said that you know the true polymorph can turn objects into other objects or into creatures? Can you turn that into something else?
Let's take a look at ye old true polymorph.
What are you thinking, Lumaki? Like, turn it into a little creature and then kill it?
No, he says. So he says no, that won't work. It has to be a non-magical object. This is a spoon. I could certainly, but this orb, it's too much power in it.
Oh,
I don't understand. The flesh seems powerful, and it doesn't have this. What happens if it gets it?
His brow furrows, and he says, "Not certain anything changes, really. If it gets it, it can keep it safe."
So this thing is dangerous to it. We should try to destroy it.
What if we take it back to Lord Oberon?
Will, sorry to interrupt you, Ella. Will, when you say we should destroy it, that surreal feeling of that you've been kind of missing since you got into the ethereal plane, that's sort of knowing that you're exactly where you need to be, this is like your purpose, that sort of like washes over you. If you had skin, you would get goosebumps because you're like, this is it. Like when you say those words,
is the point.
yeah. When you say those words, you're like, that is exactly why I'm here.
Okay. I always forget his name. The voice in my head.
Egregor?
Down. Egregor. He hasn't reacted to any of this or say anything, right? I think he said something when we first saw it, but he wasn't real specific. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, we made that or something? Or was that a different item?
I think that might have been a different item. I can't recall.
Yeah.
I can't recall exactly. He doesn't say anything, but when you think about him, suddenly he's probably like standing in the room somewhere, like nobody else sees him. Maybe like leaned up against one of the pillars or something, and he's got his he's elven, like he looks elven, like a caster. And he's got a hand on his chin, like he's thinking, and he's sort of like kind of like tapping one of his feet, leaning up against like the wall or one of the pillars, and he raises an eyebrow and he looks at you, like expectantly, like you going to say something, or like he seems like he's interested, maybe even a little bit anxious, but he's not trying to interrupt.
I'll wait until the right moment.
Sure.
Unless no one else has anything to say.
If it's part of the flesh, does that mean it can infect you? You're holding the thing with your bare hands. Is that okay?
Well, I carried it all the way here.
He says,
Are you infected?
He looks towards Will and he says, probably would be best to take a look at you.
I don't think I am.
Did you try to use it
Guess
at
you'd
all?
see flesh, wouldn't you?
I guess you'd see flesh, you said.
Yeah. Don't have any of that.
Yeah, he says that's a fair point. What about these gems? And he like gestures to the crystals growing on you.
I'm pretty sure that's from something else. Before we even found that thing.
Did you
Before
try
we
to?
found you.
He says, did you try to use it at all? Study it? Anything?
No. Just carried it.
He nods. And he says, I felt its influence when I was examining it. It reached out, tried to touch my mind.
I never felt anything like that, right?
Not with the orb, no. The only thing you can compare it to is it would be similar to what happens when anyone interacts with the flesh. Whether it was like chopping the flesh-covered trees way back in the first episode, it was the same wisdom save you guys made then that he had to make just now.
Didn't Will make one when we first entered the Fade Arc? And he told Fang not to touch anything, and then went and touched the wall.
Yeah, I told you guys not to touch anything. I just walked across it.
Yeah, there was that. I think you succeeded on that though, didn't you?
Oh yeah, like I think it would have been very hard to fail.
Yeah. For you, yeah.
For me, for Will, yeah. He's kind of built for this.
Yeah. He says, go ahead.
So, if it's part of the flesh, how can its heart be here? Why is it in this place in the first place? If it's somewhere else?
Ubrimah says, actually, it makes sense somewhat. You wouldn't check the realm of the dead for a way to kill something in the physical world. It could be
How to
hidden.
get there in the first place? Did someone just try to get the thing away?
Perhaps someone tried to hide it. It was guarded, after all. It was part of a creature's horde. Maybe they figured it was in safe hands. Could perhaps be the one that sent you here, or another that's working with the liars. And his face like tenses up with a little bit of like disdain for a moment when he says their name out loud. And then he kind of he just says, or the flesh. Can you think of anyone else who might be working with them? Someone that would have the power to hide something away like this.
What if somebody put it here to keep the flesh from him? Like somebody's on our side.
Ubrimah
Seems most likely to me too.
Ubrimah holds up a finger and kind of like shakes it, like, "Oh, that's a good idea." And he says, "Wait. Um. He says, someone on our side. Keep it. I don't know about someone on our side, but it could be someone using it as leverage. A way to get the flesh to do what they want, to obey, perhaps." Will, you see Egregore just staring bullets at you now.
Sure, he doesn't have anything important to add to the conversation.
He's just like staring at you, like knowingly, like just like, yeah, I know you see me looking at you, like I know something, but I'll wait. Kind of is the look on his face. Yeah, and so basically, yeah, that's basically all Ubrimah had to add was like, it could be somebody. I like he doubts it's somebody on your side, but it could be somebody like using the flesh, like keeping this as like a carrot over it, like basically do what I want or I'll find a way to kill you, kind of thing.
Who'd try to blackmail the flesh? I thought they were pretty dangerous.
Ubrimah nods and he says, Aurelius would be insane enough to try.
Who's that again?
He says, he looks towards Sha'ah and he says, the golden one we were spying on before I had a heart attack. Sha'ah, do you understand what he's saying at all? Remember, he replaced the memory of his death with a heart attack or whatever instead of being killed by death itself.
Right.
But
Oh. That thing that was on top of a triangle.
yeah, Will, you were watching at that point too, I think. So yeah, he's talking about the guy draped in gold on top of that
Golden Pyramid.
yeah, the one when Ubrimah was
Inverted
scrying
golden
on him
pyramid.
right before he died, he was doing a ritual to pull death out of heaven and bind it to the flesh. He also killed Judgment in that ritual, like killed one Arcana and then pulled death out of heaven and made a deal with them and bound them to the flesh, and then flesh death attacked you all. Like he was able to, the golden guy Aurelius, he was able to see through the scrying, so he saw the scrying eye and he looked right at it and he was like, I see you, or whatever, and then that's when everything went to shit.
Yeah. So I would have seen that?
That was before Will woke up, I think. You were playing as Vash.
I think he'd know who the golden one was anyways, because there were some other times we saw him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ubrimah clues you in as to who the golden one is. Brings up that guy and he says, I don't know of anyone else with the power or the what's the word I'm looking for here? The power or the like some I had the word on the tip of my tongue but I lost it. Insanity, basically. He says, could be any number of players, but I would place my bet on one of those two. The one who brought you here or him.
Will is gonna decide. Egregore, do you have something? Do you know something about this?
You say that out loud?
No, I say in my head to him.
Alright.
I know how it works.
Let's see, Egregore.
are several objects like this. Keep the watchers of the fountain anchored to a physical form, also used by epochs. The flesh gloom was one of these at one time, has long since become something else. Her orb has changed since last I saw it, but these devices, they are ours.
All right. How do you know what this is?
Who are you talking to?
Egregore.
How does he know?
Because he told us that he, like, that was before his time, wasn't it? Or after his time, like after he had died. They had different guardians when he was alive.
Yeah, that's why he said the orb has changed since the last time he saw it.
Oh, I guess I missed that.
That's why he didn't recognize
Can it be
it.
destroyed? Or should it be destroyed? Will it weaken Gilhoon, or...
It would.
Seemed...
It would be difficult to find a way to destroy it. I would suggest hurling it into a star.
Into a star. How would you do that? Pretty high up.
I do not think your kind have found a way to accomplish this yet.
What if I just hit it really hard? There's a bit of magic in my hammer.
I can help with that.
This is all in Will's head.
Yeah.
Oh.
He says, let me make a roll here. Let me just roll a die. Not great. He says,
I do not know if that would work, though I doubt it. Objects like these were made to be incredibly difficult to destroy. If your hammer can withstand the strike, then I suppose it's possible, but unlikely.
What? Are you saying this thing might break my hammer?
Egregore says,
Perhaps you need a reminder. I sense a memory that could be useful.
All right.
all right, you basically gave him permission, so you feel a tide sweep through your mind. It's a feeling of an extremely powerful psychic entity. Overwhelming psychic force, like a bright light that's hard to look directly at. You get the sense immediately that it's been holding itself at restraint for some time. And you relive the memory that you saw from the crystal of Fee with this necklace that was pulled off of a white, and Fee has it laid out on this tree trunk and raises up a magical sword, right? and Fee brings the sword down on the amulet that was cursing Timothy. And there's a bright flash that sweeps through the whole area. Vash and everybody, all the other player characters who were there at the time, kind of like shield their eyes. And when it clears, we see Fee is standing there with a broken sword, and the amulet is like shattered on the trunk of this tree. And there's probably like scorch marks around it and stuff. Egregore says,
This tends to happen when two powerful artifacts collide. Unstoppable force, immovable object.
Well, if it's a matter of sacrificing the hammer to get rid of that thing, I think that's a good deal.
Want me to sacrifice one of my arrows? I have ones that are not breakable.
you're not hearing
in
this.
his head.
You're not.
Oh, right, that's true. Sorry.
That's why I waited to do this, because it's just me and it's kind of annoying.
I zoned out a bit and I totally...
Yeah, it's fine. You say something like, I'd be willing to sacrifice a hammer to kill this thing. Egregore says,
This object is much more powerful than that amulet. The effects could be unpredictable, but you would potentially be sacrificing much more.
I suppose that means sacrificing you too, right?
Indeed. Perhaps we can find another way.
It must be possible though, right? Because I mean, if he can do it, I can do it. I'm gonna try and think of a memory of.
yeah, this
So
is all taking place in your subconscious or whatever. So, yeah, if you wanted to like picture a memory, you could certainly do that.
Will has seen stuff from the audience point of view, right? We've established.
Yeah,
I assume that applies to other parties.
yeah.
Okay, then will bring up the memory of seeing the cracked star orb from B Team.
Yeah, so we see the moment where B Team was down in the Wellspring, Claret Wellspring, way back when, before we started stream. We're seeing a lot of flashbacks this session. I forget who opened the door to the chamber. I feel like it was Kyo's character at the time.
Oh,
Soul. And you open the door to like the loot chamber, and the orb is floating in the air. And we see it as you're reliving the memory. We get to see like every detail of what you saw. Because you would have remembered things you wouldn't even realize you remembered. And we see like it in slow motion. The door gets pulled open slowly. We see all like the other bits of treasure around the small room. It was a tiny room, if I recall, kind of like hidden. And the orb is like floating there in the air, spotless. You see the stars in it. It's like kind of like glowing and giving off light. It's just like hovering in the air, like 4 or 5 feet off the ground. And then as soon as the door opens, it dims and falls to the ground. Soul reaches out to try to catch it before it hits the ground, but it hits the ground and we see the crack form across it, and the light inside goes out with no more stars or whatever. I don't think we discovered it was magical until right afterwards when Ambien was looking at it or something. And Egregore says,
A deception. The star, perhaps, protecting itself.
he definitely, he doesn't try to hide it. He pulled the star from your mind because you observed all that stuff. You know it was called the star. Eventually. So he basically says it wasn't really damaged. it was a deception. He says,
Its influence lingers over the orb, much like with this one. The flesh gloom probed out at his mind. The star's influence is different, brighter. Reminds me of us.
of course, he was called the last light in the darkness. I forget what his title was, but light is a big deal to them.
I wrote down somewhere.
Some of the last bastion, remaining light of the darkness. I can't remember exactly what it was, but his title was something like that.
Last bastion of the light of the Kalash star standing against the darkness.
Yeah, there you go. So he sees the star and he sort of like feels its influence through your memories, through you bringing up your memory of it, and he seems to view it positively. Like, oh, this is a good thing. It reminds me of my people. It's so bright.
Think there's anything to Ubrimah's idea that Gulhoon's being forced to do these things? Doesn't seem real likely.
I hesitate to consider a being so powerful could be forced to do anything.
That's how I feel as well. Although, you say you were pretty powerful and now you're forced to be inside my head.
I was never that powerful. And forced is a strong word. Circumstance has made this the most viable option for both of us.
So at this point, I think we'll say, y'all remember when I said I had that voice in my head?
Say it out loud so everyone else
Yeah.
is included in the conversation again. Okay.
Yeah. He
What
feels
about
like
it?
he might
Hearing
know
things?
something about it. He doesn't think we can break it, but I still kind of want to give it a try.
How will you break it then?
Hit it really hard. Could break my hammer though.
Who's this voice in your head, and why does he?
Do you remember
Know
the thing that
anything
was in the
about it?
crystal? The
Yes, but
crystal I touched.
why would he know anything about?
Well, he's known a lot about a lot of things. I'm pretty sure Will told you guys his name and everything. That he said he was Egregor, last light of Kalistar, and all that stuff.
I don't remember what you told us about him, to be honest.
Right.
He's been Will's told you pretty much everything about him. He hasn't been real secretive like that.
I know that we've asked you to ask him questions for us, so I do know that you've told us about him, but
yeah, pretty much if you remember hearing about it, you probably know about it in character because Will has been pretty forthcoming.
yeah. It'll destroy your hammer. Don't you need that?
Kinda, but if I break this thing, I think that's why I'm here.
Do you want to use one of these arrows? They're unbreakable.
Well, just stab it with the arrow, or do you want to shoot it?
Yeah, maybe you just you chip it a little and then you shoot it.
Will take one of the arrows if you're offering it.
Yeah, I'll offer you. I have 10 unbreakable arrows, so I'll give you one of them.
Literally. Okay. I think it's worth a shot. Ubrimah, put it on the ground.
You tell Ubrimah to put the orb on the ground.
Yep.
He looks at you hesitantly, but he complies. He steps forward and let's see here. I gotta grab his token here. He steps forward here. He sets the orb on the ground and rolls it toward you.
Will just stop it with his foot.
Here's the orb.
Treat bench foot.
Yeah. You just stop it with your foot. So we
I
hear
guess
it.
there
like,
was one other thing. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say we get the sound of this like crystal orb rolling across from the marble across the hardwood floor, and then we see it stop under your foot. The camera like zooms in on it when it does this, and so we see all the flesh landscape in there like writhing around.
I guess there was one other danger. The voice said that it might destroy him if I try.
Destroy the. Which one?
The guy, Egregore. He said, I'm not sure how.
Ubrimah says, if that's what we think it is, it could destroy all of us.
All right, Fang, here. Maybe we'll wait.
It
It just seems maybe all of you could leave out of here and I'd just do it alone, just in case.
But if it destroys you, we'll never see you again.
If I break it, it'd be worth it.
How about we break it
then
from
who-
a
I'm
distance?
here. This is why I was woken up.
But
Ubrimah
then who will protect me until Indigo comes back?
Ubrimah says, wait. Just before you do anything, let me check something. Just give me a moment. He starts to walk towards the bookshelf.
Not rush for time, I suppose.
Yeah, he reaches into the bookshelf. Same as before, his hand disappears in the darkness between two books. He pulls out a old-looking leather-bound tome. It's pretty thick. It's leather-bound, but it's got like gold trim and filigree and stuff on it, so it looks quite strange. He walks towards his desk here, and he sets the book down on his desk. Lumaki, anybody else close enough to get a look at it? The cover of the book has two images on it. Let me see if I can find them for you. On the cover is first the image of the moon, not the tarot card, just the image of the moon. Beside it, the second image is the magician. And these are also like etched in gold over this like old looking leather on the cover. There's no words on the cover or the spine. Sets the book down on the desk, opens it. Inside we see like old vellum pages. They're browned and kind of like stuck together. Like they're clearly extremely old, starting to decay. There's also nothing written on them. Okay? He flips through a couple pages that are completely blank. And then he just opens it up to somewhere in the middle. It's also blank. He reaches into the drawer on the desk. He pulls out a quill and a inkwell and sets them beside the book. Then he sits down at the desk and he grabs the quill. He dips it into the inkwell and he starts writing something in the book.
while he's doing that, I think, so Will says, assuming this doesn't work, do you have any other ideas? Because we can't take it with us. Even if we're going back to try and find Tulpa, there's no way we can take this back to the flesh. That'd be a really bad idea. Someone tried to get this thing away. Maybe that was why that dragon was there, didn't they? Someone said that dragons died trying to defeat the flesh last time.
That's true. Someone did say that. There's a lot of reasons dragons died, but that is one of them.
So maybe that was
Who are you asking?
the one who did it. He's just talking to everyone else besides. Well, I mean, I'm sure Ubrimah can hear it, but he's talking to everyone while Ubrimah's doing his thing.
Okay.
He's basically just reiterating that we can't take it with us, so we have to do something with it before we can leave. There's no way Will is letting us take that thing back.
Can Lumaki look over Ubrimah's shoulder while he's writing to see what he's writing?
Sure. He's writing in Celestial. Can you read Celestial?
Nope.
Gibberish. We, the audience, are going to see what he's writing in just a second. Don't worry. I think while you're saying like we can't bring it back and all that stuff, Ubrimah, he's still in the middle of like writing out something. He doesn't even look back at you. He does say, perhaps your friend Tulpa will know what to do with it. But he keeps writing. So we see him write out something, and then he pauses and he lifts the quill up from the page, and then Lumaki, you're looking over his shoulder trying to read it, and it looks like gibberish. He writes out like a sentence or two, and then he pauses and stops. Then you see a sentence or two appear on the page below what he wrote. And it just like starts to appear like someone is writing in the book who is not standing there. And it's a different sentence. It's clearly like a response or something. And then we see from the audience perspective what's going on. So Ubrimah's sitting, he's writing in the book, and we see like the captions at the bottom of the screen. And we see what he's writing, and he says, please, I need to know what we're supposed to do. And then the response he gets is, everything is in its right place. Then Ubrimah writes something again, and he says, I don't know what's the right decision here. And the response he gets is, the decision's already been made. And then Ubrimah writes, will I be able to avenge my people? And the response he gets back is, it's time to let go. And then he reads that, and you can tell visibly it hits him like a ton of bricks. And so he just emotion washes over him. He doesn't cry or anything, but you can tell it it's heavy. And he pulls up the pen and he writes back, and he says, I'm not certain I know how. And the response he gets back this time is written in gold lettering. So Lumaki, you would pick up on that. And the response says, it is time to let go of the failures of the past. You are needed. It's time for renewal. rebirth. We will do what we can to avenge your people. You have a choice. Make the right one. Let go. He stops writing for a moment and he kind of thinks. Then he writes down in the book, what about the orb? The response he gets back is rebirth and renewal. Clean slate. The decision has already been made. You are needed. Make the right decision. It's again written in gold this time. He writes again. He says, if this is who I think it is, I am hunted. And the response he gets back is, you are hunted no more. It is time to come home. And he puts the quill away, puts the inkwell back in the drawer, and he closes the book. When he does this, when he closes the book, the image on the front of the book has changed. Instead of the moon and the magician on the front of the book, there is a different image. I have a handout for you. It looks, and this should be an image I showed you guys before. It looks like this. The image on the front of the book. Does that look familiar to you guys? You guys have seen this before, right?
Is that the thing that came out of the one guy's mouth? Wait,
Out of the Page Prince's mouth, the
Yeah.
lotus.
Papaya.
It sort of could remind you of that. So the thing that came out of the guy's mouth, yeah. So he had like a lotus, like a lily pad stem grow out of his mouth, like the bulb of the lotus, and then it opened up, and it was at first it was like this beautiful white lotus, it was a beautiful golden lotus, but then it quickly turned black, and like dissolved into ash. And that's when the Shadow Demon attacked, I think. That was way back in Watum Tam, like the first arc that wasn't on stream.
And only Will would know about it, I
Yeah.
think.
The
Yeah.
audience perspective.
That
Yeah.
you might pick it up from there. You might also pick this up from imagery we've seen associated with a certain Aasimar, who is no longer around. A certain Serafina. Okay, so let me just describe the image. So you see on the front of the book the engraving of a golden lotus. Above, in the shape of an arch, to the left and to the right, are 22 in total small dots in gold, divided in half. In between them are 3 larger, bright diamonds, I suppose we can call them. But they're gold. They're diamond-shaped. As far as the imagery goes, you would definitely get the Golden Lotus from the beginning. You'd also probably know, just from all the other stuff you've seen, lotuses are associated with reincarnation, rebirth, renewal, good things, typically. Especially golden ones. The color of the lotus can affect the meaning, like black lotuses can mean something totally different. So it could like pink or white. But they're still positive at least. The 22 dots, well, there's 23 arcana, or at least there was. Maybe the dots in the middle are meant to represent that missing one somehow. Like the diamond shapes. But it definitely seems to be some kind of representation of the Arcana or heaven or something like that. But you could ask Ubrimah. You could ask what's going on.
I have to, because I'm very confused.
Yeah, you're kind of supposed to be. Yeah.
I guess Lumaki's gonna ask him, what is that book, Ubrimah? What were you writing down?
He's kind of at a loss for words for a moment. He like sort of struggles to find them. He says this sorry, this book is supposed to reveal hidden knowledge. It's supposed to help find a way forward when things don't seem clear. That's what I've always used it for. But it seems different now. Something has changed with it.
Can we use it?
Sorry? What?
Can we use it?
Yeah, he's lost in thought for a second. Can you use it?
You said it helps with answers, right? When you're lost?
He says just a moment. He says just a moment. He throws the book back down and opens it up. You don't see any of the writing that was there before. He pulls the quill back. He opens the drawer, but he doesn't like pull the quill and inkwell back out. He just grabs the quill and writes. You don't know what he's writing, but we see what the captions. He writes, they want to know if they can have the book. And the gold writing appears below his writing and says, they already have everything they need. And he looks up at you and he says, I'm sorry, I can't give it to you.
You said he was crying, right?
I said he wasn't crying, but he was clearly had an emotional reaction.
Oh, okay.
Like it definitely, whatever had happened seemed to affect him. But yeah, he didn't go into tears or anything.
Why do you look so disturbed after you wrote in the book? Did not give you the right answers that you wanted?
No, it's just not what I expected. It seems things are different than I thought.
Well, what did you ask it? And what did it say?
Well, I was trying to figure out the best path forward. As far as the orb's concerned, well, Heaven thinks that the decision's already been made, which either means whatever you decide to do is for the best.
What, you said Heaven has decided on something? Is that how you... Did you talk to them recently?
He says, the secret knowledge from the book, originally the symbol on the front, the moon, the magician. The moon represents secrecy, hidden, and sort of dualism of good and evil. The magician represents knowledge. The book contains hidden knowledge, but I'm communicating with someone else now through it. I don't know how, it didn't speak to the moon or the magician before. It was just it was part of the magic of the book itself. It just was a way to tap into some of that knowledge. But now it seems an arcana I've never heard of has taken an interest in me and chosen to speak to me directly through this book.
And they said that we cannot use the book.
It said you have everything you need.
But that doesn't mean that we can't look at the book, right?
I suppose it doesn't. It seems to imply that I am to take it with me. Or keep using it, perhaps? The book's still open on the table. You see some more text appear. Like, he didn't even write in it this time. Some more of that gold lettering appears. It's quite calligraphy style. Like, it's very artistic, the way the gold writing is written.
Hard to read.
Well, I mean, it's also in Celestial, so that's probably part of the reason it's hard. But I mean, I'm saying it's like artistic. It's sort of like written prettily,
Right.
professionally.
Like good calligraphy.
Yeah. And it says I cannot imagine a better symbol. And then there's like 3 dots, and then it says a new bodhisattva is needed. Rebirth and renewal. You fit the role perfectly, Ubrimah. And he looks down at that, and then back up to you all, and his eyes are a little wide. And he says, well, it seems this heaven is no longer after me. They want my help. They need my help, apparently.
Yeah, we did talk about maybe doing a little rebranding Ubrimah the Gracious, or
He grins and he says, how about Ubrimah the Renewed, or Ubrimah the Reincarnated?
I'm not sure you're quite
What about-
reincarnated yet, but we could work on that.
No, not yet.
What about Ubrimah, the best version of himself?
Bit wordy, but
he smiles and he says, well, it seems I will not be able to go with you all after all. I can get you there, though.
well, hold on. Maybe you got a little distracted. We were talking about the orb.
It says that the decision has already been made. Do you want me to
I
ask?
should try to smash it. That was the decision, right? Or I'm confused.
What's the decision?
Yeah.
Ubrimah's looking at you like, I don't know, what is the decision? He says, I think what it means is whatever you decide to do is how it was meant to be.
I think we're gonna destroy it with one of my unbreakable arrows.
He says, you have unbreakable arrows?
Yeah, that's what I've been using.
Are they magic arrows, Ella?
Yeah, they are. I had enough money when I made the character to get unbreakable arrows, so I've got 10 of them, and Fang just goes and gathers them up after.
Okay. Ubrimah nods. He says, I suppose it's worth a try. If nothing happens, at least the arrows won't be wasted, right? Or do they only have one charge or something? I don't know how they work.
No, they're infinitely.
Okay, okay, all right. He says, this is good, I think. You see more text appearing in the book as he's like talking to you, like looking at you guys talking to you. There's just text appearing on the page.
What is the book saying now?
He turns and looks at it, and he says, it seems war started in heaven already. We have a replacement for death. One you might know, some of you. Angel, former angel of death. One of the last of its kind. Seraphina. They need a bodhisattva. And it seems they have selected me for the role. There was another, but they are no longer available. That means they were either killed somehow, or something else happened, I suppose. They could have-
Does that mean you're going to heaven?
You say, does that mean you're going to heaven?
Yeah.
He says, yes, it seems they're preparing a new vessel for me.
Oh, good.
And
Before you leave, can you give that book back?
the grimoire.
Yeah.
He says, but I might need this.
I thought that was his payment for helping us out. Like, you know.
Payment? No.
He says, to show you how to get your friend back, he gestures towards Lumaki.
And for getting us where we need to go, and all the information he's provided.
And for the diamond. The legendary item or something. It's like a crazy strong item.
Just steps back.
It's okay, Sha'ah. We can buy you something better.
There's quite a bit of gold.
Okay. If this heaven is really needing you, then you might need that book then.
If you're going to heaven, how are you getting there?
He says, you know, I don't have the faintest idea. But for the first time in a long time, I guess I have faith. I'll get there.
And if there really is a war, do they need more people to help?
Are you volunteering, Lumaki?
No, but I want to know what things are happening in the world, I guess. I mean, a war in heaven sounds like it affects us all, don't you think?
he looks over towards the book again. It's still writing. It's just been writing nonstop. And he says, "It seems they are looking for more allies, but yeah, entering heaven would kill you."
Well, silver lining, you don't have to worry about that, right?
Ubrimah nods. Yeah, he says, "No, the vessel they'll provide me with won't need to worry about this. Does seem I finally have an answer to my question. Spirit, turns out." Then he looks at you, Will, and he says, "Huh, I wonder which one you are."
What do you mean?
Hello?
I
Lost
got
rambling.
kicked out of voice.
Oh.
I got kicked out of. It said I was inactive. It kicked
It
me
said
out.
that it.
That's
or
because your
it-
mic
it
is
did-
always pinged.
Yeah.
Yeah. It got so quiet. I thought I was the one who got kicked out.
Yeah, I didn't know what happened there. Sorry, what was the question there?
I think he said, what do you mean?
Talking about. I totally lost my train of thought.
I guess
Spirit.
would be-
Something about spirit.
Oh,
What
yeah,
are
yeah.
you?
Yeah. He looks at Will and he says, "I wonder which one you are." And you say, "What do you mean?" And he says, "Well, spirit or body, which half of you remains, I guess, is what I'm asking. I'm kind of an expert, I suppose, but something has happened to you with your friend Egregore, you call it?"
Yeah, he says that too, but I think he's full of it.
"No, I think not. I could take a closer look if you like, but
I don't feel any different. Haven't noticed not being able to do anything.
no, you haven't died. You've just lost an important piece. You wouldn't."
Shouldn't that be impossible?
He says, "Shouldn't it be impossible for me to steal my soul back from heaven? The impossible can be done." And it seems my debts, my former crimes are forgiven. If that's possible, anything is possible.
You're a criminal.
He kind of smirks and he says, "I was on the run from heaven for some time. Just wanted to be left alone, look after my people. But stealing my soul, mind you, back was a crime, yes."
Well, if it's yours, then I think it's fine.
He says, "I felt the same way." But it's time to let go of the failures of the past. Move forward with a clean slate.
You feel like you have a new ally. Did they say? I mean, so I know Seraphina, right? Will does.
I would think so. You've seen a lot of Seraphina, yeah.
Right. Pretty sure Seraphina seemed kind of evil the last time that anything happened with her.
What do you mean?
I just maybe this is Wolf misremembering, but I could have swore that the party was thinking that Seraphina was evil.
Ferdy, what?
Wasn't there?
hold on. Ferdy, what alignment was Seraphina?
Seraphina's neutral.
Neutral.
Let me check Seraphina. But she was wasn't there like a doppelganger?
Yeah, there was that. That's when Seraphina didn't come back. When the doppelganger plants stole the souls of people in the party and sort of took over their bodies. When you guys finally kill the doppelganger plants, Seraphina's soul didn't return like the other folks. She just sort of died.
Wasn't there also something about when O'Dane was remembering something about when he was still a fool? Seraphina was coming for him.
Yes, Seraphina and Black River's
But-
lapel.
Yeah, but that was before. Like, that was supposed to be a flashback. That was supposed to be before we even met her, right?
Yes,
It
and
was just a general.
and they
Except
were
O'Dane was framed.
yeah. O'Dane the fool was framed, and Seraphina and lapel were manipulated because the Arcana they served was corrupted the whole time, and they didn't know.
Yeah.
It was like Death was working against everyone else the whole time, and nobody knew. They just trusted that they were getting the correct information. And so, yeah, they went after O'Dane. Then we saw that when they were trying to take him in, and then the fool fled heaven, basically, leapt out the window with the dog and became human, or at least mortal.
Doggy.
Yes. Seraphina, however, yeah, I wouldn't say Seraphina is evil. I think Seraphina was trying to do the right thing, thought that they were doing the right thing a lot of times, but just happened to be serving the wrong person, the wrong entity. Death turned out to be in the wrong. And when Death was killed by you guys after it officially joined the flesh, Seraphina took its place. We saw some of that with Avachai before he got killed, where he was saying that there was, he was seeing visions and stuff, getting feelings, got a new patron, all that jam.
What was the good that Seraphina thought they were doing when they killed Timothy?
That was Fee.
Oh, okay, fair, yeah.
And Fee thought that she was getting doing justice for the child that Timothy killed, even though we had been killing them before.
Correct.
And there weren't children anymore either. They were corrupted flesh creatures.
Yeah.
By that point,
They were evil things.
Yeah.
Also, the only reason Fee got in trouble for that is because Tim happened to be a champion of Judgments, so like a selected, you can't just go around killing Judgment's champions. And Judgment and Death were supposed to be working together, kind of, or at least Death was trying to use Judgment maybe, or something was going on there. And that caused some problems for Death. So Death took Fee away and left it up to Seraphina and Fee, which one of them died and which one of them would take their spot. And they both, Seraphina basically told Fee to go ahead and kill her. Fee instead drove the sword into her own chest, if I recall. Which meant that Seraphina took Fee's place, and then was acting a little different. Still not what I would call good, necessarily. There was definitely wasn't any evil there from what I picked up on. But the premise was when Seraphina died and turned to gold, that there was some kind of ascension going on there. And it was either reaching enlightenment or something like that had happened. Maybe the conditions were just right. Who knows? But I'll tell you this, we're right at the 2-hour mark, so why don't we do this? Why don't we take a break? Everyone think. Go to the bathroom, get yourself something to drink. All that good stuff. We'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. Does that sound okay with everyone?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for playing. thanks to all you folks for watching. We've seen a lot of folks from the institution in the chat tonight. Busy, Roxy. We see some folks from Broken. Maury was in here, probably still is. Hey, Maury, thanks for being here. Thank all you guys for watching. Thank all you guys for playing. We'll be back in a couple minutes with some more Forest of Flesh. Thanks, guys. I am back. Let's see how these folks are doing. Have you guys made it back in?
I'm here.
Alrighty.
I'm here.
Alrighty. How you guys doing?
They're okay.
I thought it'd be a good way to like I don't know, like tie into old things, tease potentially upcoming things.
Mm-hmm.
Little lore.
Have been.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ubrimah the Bodhisattva. Oh. It was either this or have him walk the earth as a lost soul ghost, a lich, and I figured this would probably be a better option if he was going to go with the good choice.
Yeah, and now we don't have to worry about finding him a replacement Agape, because I was worried about that.
Agape is reincarnated somewhere. Little baby unicorn being born somewhere.
Aww.
Or maybe he's in heaven. I don't know. They are celestials.
Yeah.
Question is, what happened to Avachai?
You know what happened to Avachai. We've seen.
Didn't you say that there was another bodhisattva that was supposed to be in line?
Yeah, but they've been indisposed somehow. I think you know.
Avachai's becoming a liar.
Yeah,
Because
he
we
was
didn't save
Right,
him from
that's right.
the... Yeah.
the Elder Brain Dragon got him. Yeah.
That's right.
Orilyn still hopes that he's savable because I think they said that they were his new family, right? So Orilyn's taking that seriously. She
Yeah.
wants to try and save him.
Good luck with that. Good luck.
Just when he found his new family.
It's typically the way it goes. Just when you have like a completion of the character arc, that's usually when they kick the bucket.
Yeah.
Just look at what
Death
happened.
flags.
Yeah, look what happened with Timothy, where he was like finally brave, finally like charging headfirst into the battle, fearless, and then
Having a moment with was it O'Dane?
It was O'Dane.
Right? Yeah.
O'Dane literally said, "I don't want you to die."
yeah,
And then 5 minutes later, he died.
Guys, no more death flags, okay?
Oh man, y'all crack me up with that stuff.
Indigo never
Welcome
sent
back.
a response to Fang, and I wasn't sure if that was because something else happened like immediately after Fang sent the message and it got forgotten, or if that was intentional. But I just figured I'd bring it up just in case.
He's in the middle of a combat encounter or whatever.
Yeah, but he could still say something in response in his head to Fang. Can't talk right now. I don't know. I just figured I'd bring it up just in case.
Does he not have to like pull out the stone or whatever?
So when I
Oh,
use
yeah,
the
yeah,
stone
yeah.
to cast it, he gets a free response.
Oh, that's
and
right,
then
yeah.
he has to use the stone if he wants to cast it.
Okay. I don't want to
yeah.
talk. I don't want to talk for Tim's character, but yeah, he responds probably something along the lines of, What did you ask him again? What did you say?
It was like we have a plan. I can be your anchor, and I'm using the sending stone you gave me. Let me find it. Indigo plan. Ubrimah said I could be your anchor for you to find us. Sending stone and me thinking about you will make anchors stronger. Or you think me thinking about, I don't know. Let me copy and paste. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it might be in character for Indigo to be like, can't talk right now in combat. If you don't want to say anything.
Hang on. I'm writing something for you.
All right. I also shared the information for the unbreakable arrow in the table talking.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's right at the edge of, like, it's just shy of the 25 words. The response you get back is something along the lines of, anchor sounds good. On a ship. Long story. Little busy fighting right now. Hope your plan works. See you all soon, I hope.
Cool.
Alright.
And then
We know he's alive.
Yeah, and then he still has a casting that he can do with the Sinning Stone to say more later on if he wants, once he's done with combat. But
Okay.
you don't have to do that today if you don't want to. You could leave it for Tim to think of next session.
Sure. He might be with us next session. Sounds like. Okay. All right. Let's kill the music. We got everyone back. Welcome back. Hope you guys had a good break. Let's put this back on. There we go. So we fade back in, and Ubrimah is saying, I think this is for the best. Better than a lost soul walking the physical world. Even half of one stable somehow can't end well. And he probably takes a couple steps towards you guys to rejoin the conversation. And he looks towards you, Will, and he says, there are a few things you should be careful about with your friend. He points to his temple. And he says, it's possible that his intentions are good, but try and keep him away from the wheel, the fountain.
Yeah, exactly what I do that.
Don't die. Stay out of heaven. You
Okay.
should be okay.
Not sure I'll have a lot of control over that, but sure. I don't think anyone ever chooses to die.
Yeah, he nods. He says, if an old Kalishtar, an original one, not just the bloodline, were to find its way back into the fountain, it could cause problems.
How do you mean?
The potential would be a rewriting of reality. Not good. Better than a demon, I suppose. Unpredictable, like a Farang. Bit of a blasphemy.
You can do that just by dying? I'm confused.
Well, it would take your death, I think. He's latched on to you now.
These
are-
folk never died before?
Yeah, he nods. He says they did. But heaven wasn't what it is now then. Things have been restructured.
Okay, then.
He says, it could undo some things. And you might, if a priest gets to look at you, they're not going to understand what they're looking at. Just be careful.
I think that might have been the case beforehand, and he just kind of looks down at his own tree form.
He says beforehand you had a soul that was in one piece, at least. Now, well, it would be easy to confuse him for a possession, parasite latched onto you. There's no telling. The untrained eye could look worse than it is.
I'll roll for something.
What was that?
Hey, Ubrimah.
Oh, go ahead.
You seem like maybe you're feeling a little hopeful. And I don't want to be the one to take that away from you. But weren't you kind of, I don't know, opposed to heaven before? Weren't you about changing it?
He says, what makes you think that's changed? If anything, that's what we're going to be doing. What do you think a clean slate means?
Why would you warn me against letting Egregore loose in there then? Because that would also change things, right?
It certainly would. Don't know that it would be for the better. If Egregore made his way into heaven, into the fountain, it's possible that all the Arcana would simply cease to exist. That means that the world could be destroyed or come undone. Possible that all the physical planes remerge like they were before into one place. And the destruction would be immeasurable. But it also means that others could take their place. like we did with the Liars after they replaced the Kalishtar. And we don't know what those new beings would be like. We don't know their motivations. We can't trust that they would do the right thing. What we can do...
This is all above my head.
Yeah, he says, indeed. It's easier when you've been around for a long time. You get used to grappling with the cosmic.
Sure.
I just saw what you wrote in the Roll20 chat. I think I'm trying to get you to kill one of your other characters. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. He says, so I am to make the right decision. That means, I think, whatever your plan is with this orb, if you don't destroy it, I do suggest you take it with you. At least it will be in...
Seems like a terrible idea.
He says, I won't be able to take it with me. And if Egregore can't enter heaven, I am definitely not taking that thing into heaven. I think that would be the worst place for it.
Having a hard time with my voice. Isn't heaven fighting the flesh? Wouldn't they want this to try and, like you said, maybe blackmail the flesh, or it's something to bargain with, isn't it?
He says, look, if Egregore entering heaven could cause destruction, a shift in the balance of power, what do you think happens if the heart of the flesh enters heaven? What do you think it becomes? Yeah, he nods. Nothing good, exactly.
I don't know if you ever made a deal with a fae, but I don't think making a deal to use this as blackmail is maybe a good idea.
Preferably we destroy it. I'm just trying to figure out what else to do with it if we can't. Egregore seems convinced we're not going to be able to.
Ubrimah says, what did he say exactly?
He said something about throwing it into a star, but I told him that was kind of high up.
Yeah. Quite a long distance away.
Quite the throw.
I wouldn't begin to understand how...
But he said that if I tried to hit it, it might break the hammer, and it might kill him, me. He thinks that I need him to survive.
Oh, you
So I
definitely...
suppose if he went, then I'd win.
He says, Ubrimah says, oh, likely you definitely do need him to survive at this point.
I'm not sure about that, but even if that is the case...
Ubrimah squints at you for a moment, and then he says, "You might make it a few days without him, a week at most."
I don't understand. So you think that I'm only part of Soul? You and him.
Ubrimah says, "I'm not sure what has happened to you, but your aura is all off. You're definitely missing part of your soul. It seems
Aren't
your
you
friend has replaced
Only
it."
half? So isn't it?
He nods.
And you're fine.
Ubrimah nods. "I'm already dead." Is this what you want
that's a
for
good point.
yourself? To be a ghost?
I suppose that's a fair point.
You could be my guardian spirit.
Ubrimah says, "Perhaps you can find a way to undo whatever was done to you, but without knowing where the other half of your soul is, I don't think I can help." The Kalishtar had powerful artifacts. They ruled magic entirely, knew far more than we do currently. There's no telling what happened or if it was intentional. It seems you are the victim of circumstance. Bad luck, perhaps.
I'll be honest. All of this is hurting my head. I just want to know if I should try and smash the thing or not.
Ubrimah just says, "I have faith that you'll make the right decision."
Will size.
Hey, Will, can I check on that orb?
What do you want to do with it?
I want to see what's inside it.
I mean, you can look at it, yeah. I wouldn't try to do anything with it. You said that it could corrupt us.
What's inside it, anyways? I forgot what it was.
It's a landscape made of flesh, similar to the one that you guys left behind when you got sent to the Ethereal plane. However, it's like now, since Ubrimah tried to figure out what was going on with it, it has been writhing around and moving constantly, and it kind of seems like the view, like the camera lens you're watching through when you look into it, is also moving around. You don't see any other like creatures, like you don't see Tulpa or Ankit in it or anything like that. Just what looks like a landscape, but all of it is just flesh. And I'm not talking like trees covered in flesh, I'm talking like just flesh. Have you ever heard of the video game Scorn? Think that world. Like looking at a landscape of that.
That was a creepy game.
Yeah. Yeah, extremely creepy.
Hey, Fang, are you good with catching? Here,
What?
I throw it to Fang.
You toss the.
It's big.
It's like
It is
I
big.
mean, you could pick it up with two hands and toss it like a it's probably a little bit smaller than a bowling ball, like crystal ball sized. You could shot put it, right? Like it's one of those. It's like shot put ball size. You know what I'm talking about? Those Olympic
Yeah.
balls that they spin around and throw.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's about like that. You could toss it, sure. Make a improvised attack roll.
No, I'm tossing it up in the air so that Fang can catch it easily.
Yeah,
Not like throw it out. Okay.
I just want to see if Fang catches it. I know you're not trying to damage Fang. Don't worry. Let's see if you throw it well. If you don't throw it well.
What was it again? Athletics?
Sure. 14, not bad. Fang.
You want a dexterity check
Yes, please.
or a save?
I think. Well, I think a save would probably be fine if you want to do a save.
Cool. My bonus for a save is higher than a check.
Yeah, I figured it would be. all right. A +8, you get a 13. All right, guys. So here's what happens. Sha'ah, you throw it up, right? So you're throwing it like underhanded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you toss it up in the air. It arcs. Fang, you try to get underneath it. It's a little bit off into one side. Maybe you don't expect it.
Yeah.
You barely get underneath it. It hits your hands and starts to slip free, right? And then it's like in the air again for a moment as it starts to fall, and you manage to get your hands underneath it again, right at the last second before it drops.
Yeah. Fang was unwilling to set down the orb that they had been playing with, and that's why it slipped the first time.
Okay. All right, you have the orb that you can ponder if you want to.
Why'd you throw this at me?
I thought it was a good idea. I thought cats love balls.
Yeah, but I've got this one, and I like this one better. And I'm just gonna set the orb down and move away.
Lumaki, how about you throw it on that wall? We start hiding.
Remember, it could hurt some of us. I'm all for trying to destroy it, but maybe people should be far away.
Ubrimah,
Yes.
you know how you made that table? Can you make anything here?
You said you know how you made that thing. What?
That table.
Oh, okay, the table.
Can-
He says I could. He said I could summon up a few things. What do you need?
Could you do maybe like a bomb?
A bomb. Huh. That's a little trickier than I expected. It would damage my sanctum.
Well, you're leaving this place anyways, right?
He nods. Let me see what I can find.
Or could you make a star, like a close by star, To throw it at?
Huh. He just laughs.
That's a no then?
Oh, trust me, you don't want to be that close to a star.
Well, we could leave and then you could make it.
It's a little out of my range, I think. Stars are far away, but they're quite large.
Seem pretty small.
Yeah. He says, no, they do. They do seem small, but that's just only because they're very far away.
Is there a limit to what you can make in here?
Yeah, there is technically, I guess. Let's look at mansion spell. Magnificent mansion. You conjure extra-dimensional dwelling in range that lasts for the duration. The entrance shimmers faintly, 5 feet wide, 10 feet tall. You and any creature you designate can enter the dwelling as long as the portal's open. You can open or close the portal, blah, blah, blah. Portal is invisible. Beyond the portal is magnificent foyer with numerous chambers beyond. The atmosphere is clean, fresh, and warm. You can create any floor plan you like, but the space can't exceed 50 cubes. Each cube being 10 feet on each side. The place is furnished and decorated as you choose. It contains sufficient food to serve a 9-course banquet for up to 100 people. A staff of 100 near transparent servants attend. All who enter, you decide the visual appearance of the servants and their attire, completely obedient to your orders. Each servant can perform any task a normal human servant could perform, but they can't attack or take action that would directly harm another creature. Servants can fetch things, clean, mend, fold clothes, light fires, serve food, pour wine, and so on. Servants can't go anywhere in the mansion but can't leave it. Furnishings, other objects created by the spell dissipate into smoke if removed from the mansion. When the spell ends, any creatures inside the extra-dimensional space are expelled to the open spaces nearest the entrance. I mean, I would say yeah, within reason. But like he could get a bomb. Like he definitely couldn't get a star. But he could get a he could get a bomb. So like presumably there's another door here. And when stuff appears, it's, you know, maybe it's like in storage behind that door somewhere, and it's just appearing because invisible servants or whatever bullshit you want to use to rationalize that. So, if you're wanting him to get something, I mean, he could get Alchemist's Fire. He could probably get something like that. He could probably get a barrel full of dynamite if that's what you're wanting to get. We've seen explosive stuff before. He can get some kind of fuel or something, oil barrel or something that you could blow up. Stuff like that could be accomplished, I think.
Thinking about, is there a limit to? So, like, say, what if I wanted not just one bomb, but like 300?
Well, I mean, that's a lot of bombs, dude.
Well, that's why I asked if there's a limit.
Yeah, I would say let's do this. Since you can feed 100 people, why don't we say you could get 100 bombs or something like that? But yeah, I know. I'm giving you a lot of leeway here. He is like supposed to be a super powerful guy who can summon things, and just like create things too. Like, let me take a look at something here. There is a spell for that. Creation. Oh, it just makes
Mundane objects, I believe.
non-living objects of vegetable. Oh, okay. So you can make things of vegetable matter out of stone, precious metals, gems, adamantine, and mithril with creation. Non-living objects of vegetable matter within range. soft goods, rope, wood, something similar. You can also create mineral objects such as stone, crystal, or metal. The object created must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. And the object must be of a form and material that you have seen before. The duration depends on the object's material. If the object composed of multiple materials, use the shortest duration. So a bomb could be made out of metals. Could you argue? Yeah, I don't know. There's probably some explosive metals, but I mean, there actually is. Sodium, I think, is one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, he could probably like 100 bombs. He could probably do, but we'd have to fit them all in the room. Is the thing, and he definitely doesn't want to like blow up his books, which are kind of important to him. And stuff
What
like that.
can he like? He can change the room, right? Can he just make a giant pit?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose he could. That's a lot for me to do, like, on the fly. I don't know if I'm gonna
No,
be
you don't
able.
need to actually have a map for it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I mean, I
You're
could
just gonna blow
pull.
it up.
I could pull in bombs or any like furniture you could think of, stuff like that. I could pull onto the map. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to like on the fly just make a giant pit. But yeah,
and make it as soon as you make it.
he could he could actually take that back. He could make a pit. Do you want a pit?
Sure.
How big?
I
How
mean, that's-
big? How big do you want the pit to be? And where are you thinking?
I mean, can't he just
You know,
like
fit 100 balls.
snap his fingers and replace this pool with a pit?
It'll be a deep pit. Yeah, I think he can do that. So here, let me make sure that is the pool. Okay, and we'll do this. And so the pool disappears, and in its place, a pit. Let's see, something like yay big, maybe a little bit bigger this way, something like that.
Mhm.
And it's deep.
Back up from the gaping chasm.
It is a deep pit. It's dark because the lighting in here is not very good.
So yeah, Ubrimah, can we just drop the heart in there and then summon a bunch of bombs and incinerate it? Maybe we can go into the other room, see what happens.
Maybe we should like step outside just in case.
Right.
Okay. So the plan
Oh,
is
wait.
to.
If he leaves it, does the mansion go away, or can he leave and it stays there?
Let me see. I gotta look the spell back up again.
I forget. I know
Uh,
it works that way with the dome, but I don't know if it does with the mansion.
Duration's 24 hours. Entrance shimmers faintly. You and any creature can enter the dwelling as long as the portal remains open. You can open or close the portal if you're within 30 feet of it. While closed,
So yeah, he can leave.
I think he can. You decide the visual appearance. They're completely obedient. Blah 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 blah. Objects created by the spell dissipate into smoke if removed from the event. When the spell ends, any creatures inside the extra-dimensional space are expelled into the open spaces nearest to the entrance.
It seems like it's worth a shot.
Okay.
What does everyone else think?
What?
Do we have to be here when that happens?
think it's better if we're not.
Well, that's why I said we can just maybe go out of this room and then go someplace else.
Is there any reason we shouldn't do this, Ubrimah? Even just to try?
Ubrimah says, well, there is a potential to destroy anything I keep in the mansion.
I thought this was all, like... Can't you just make it come back again?
Yeah.
Like, if I smash the table, can't you just make another? Looks just like it?
The table I can, yes. The artifacts are a bit trickier. Give me a moment. I'll put them... I have a... He pauses for a moment. I have a pocket dimension in my wrist. And he walks to the table, and that book that's sitting on the table... I think it's called Wrist Pocket, right? That's what the spell is called?
Oh, yeah.
How much can it hold? That's what I'll need to know. I actually didn't have 5e tools already pulled up today. For whatever reason, I usually have it ready to go when we start because I always need it. Wrist Pocket. I'm not finding it.
I don't have it open either.
Weigh no more than 5 pounds.
And you can
No.
only do one thing at a time. I
That's
think.
one object.
That's one object. Alright.
Yeah.
But aren't you leaving for heaven anyways? Are you taking all your artifacts with you?
Yeah, he shakes his head no. He grabs the book that was writing in its own pages, and he flicks his wrist and it disappears. And he says, well, I guess that is all I'll be grabbing.
Well, I mean, we can take some of the artifacts with us. We can keep them safe. If you're worried about that.
He says, I have a lot of books, history books, that I would like to keep safe. Do you have room for those?
I can carry a lot of things.
So what was he hands you the book on the histories of the giant races.
Mm-hmm.
There was some other books he was reading. He hands you all the books he read through. I can't remember all the names I gave out. But he's like, here, take all these books. And then he gestures to the bookshelves. And he's like, grab as much as you can carry.
I'll take as much as I can carry.
He totally doesn't need you to do this. Like, you don't have a bag of holding, right?
No.
It's just gonna disappear when you walk outside.
Yeah, it's just gonna disappear like as soon as you walk outside. Yeah. That's
Well,
right.
I don't know that.
Right.
All right, you just start grabbing books, and you probably, books are kind of heavy. They weigh a couple pounds each. I don't know if they weigh 5, but depends on the size of the book, I guess. You could probably carry like 20 or 30 at least, I would think. You're a strong dude, right?
Yeah,
Very strong.
I can carry to like 300 pounds.
Yeah, okay. I don't know how much all your equipment weighs. You don't wear armor, right?
Nope.
So yeah, you can probably carry quite a bit. All right, so load up with the books. What do you guys do? He'll summon some bombs here. Let's do explosive. Let's see what we can find here. Y'all are crazy. Y'all come up with some crazy stuff,
I
man.
guess we'll pick up the orb.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Sticks of dynamite. That's what we'll use. Boom. Alright, so here. There'll be hundreds of them, and they're just going to be piled up by the pit, I guess.
Well, can't we just shove them into the pit?
Yeah.
You just want to have them spawn them all in there? That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't actually have.
Ha-
You don't actually have to put dynamites in the pit. You can
It's
just.
fine.
Yeah. But you're going to need one to light and throw it in there, right?
Right.
No. We're gonna have one of the servants do that.
Oh yeah.
All right.
We're gonna be the fuck outside.
All right. So yeah, there's a bunch of dynamite down in this pit. You can't see it, but it's definitely down there.
Cool.
All right. What's the plan now?
Assuming this fails, how do we get the orb back?
The servant can bring it back.
Well, can't we just go back and check to see if it destroyed it?
I'm gonna bring the hammer up and just lightly tap the orb. Just like not hitting it, just touching them together.
Okay, there's like a tink sound as the hammer like touches the orb.
Nothing crazy happens. Hammer doesn't break.
No, nothing happens.
Okay,
No.
cool. Then he's gonna throw it up and just give it a light smack down into the pit. Just launching it, sort of.
The orb, right? You're just tossing it into the pit.
Well, I'm throwing the orb up and then like batting it down into the pit with the hammer. Not really trying to break it, just hitting it. Just giving a little
Hard enough to
velocity.
make an attack roll?
No, not unless this doesn't work.
Alternatively,
Unless that
I
breaks
could
it.
just fly over the pit and throw it down.
I could just throw it in. I just
Yeah.
want to smack it.
Yeah, okay, fine. For flavor, you hit it like a aired croquet ball.
Yeah. Will's just trying to convince himself nothing bad's gonna happen to the hammer if he hits it.
Sure. You don't hit it hard enough to make an attack roll.
No,
So you tap it in the air and it
kind of pushing it.
it goes into the pit. When it falls into the pit, there's just silence for 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds, before you hear somewhere way down in the pit the sound of a crystal ball hitting stone. It bounces. You hear it bounce. It hits stone floor, then it bounces up like it hits a wall, and then it hits the floor again, and eventually it like stops bouncing and settles on the floor down there. It bounces
That
probably
didn't break it.
probably bounces like 5 or 6 times.
All right, well, let's get out of here.
All right, so the plan is now to get everyone back outside.
Remotely
Yeah.
detonate. Yep.
All right, let me copy you folks here.
Well, the entire
Copy.
pocket plane.
That is everybody. All right. And what was the map? Here's the map we had before. As soon as it loads. Just waiting on the map to load. Un momento. Okay, you guys were right by the treasure hoard, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And what the shit is... Why? There we go. That was weird. Alright, your tokens went all jank for a second. That was weird. Alright, let me pull you guys over to this map. And... Seems like it's taking a minute to load. This map isn't that big. It really this really shouldn't take that long. Here we go. Seems like Roll20.
A lot of objects.
Yeah, I guess there kind of is a lot of objects. Usually lighting is the thing that really causes some lag. I guess there is, it is dim here. Okay. So you guys are back in the cave, where you fought the ethereal ghost dragon dude. And you're gonna have Ubrimah command a servant to like light one of the sticks of dynamite and throw it into the pit.
Yep.
All right. The entrance is invisible, so you just sort of step out of the air and into this room. Okay. So, here's what happens.
Do all the books disappear when I step through?
Do what?
All the books disappear?
Yeah, they turn into smoke, yeah. They just turn into smoke and drift out of your hands. And Ubrimah says, oh, sorry, I forgot that happens.
Wait, is that everything that was from the inside gets turned to smoke?
Yeah, everything that he conjured or whatever. Everything that was part of the mansion.
So
All the stuff that
even
you carried out.
even the gem of true polymorph?
No, not the gem of true polymorph. I'm gonna say that doesn't.
Okay.
Okay. He can't just conjure the gem of true polymorph though. Like you have his gem now. He can't just like summon another one. Okay. So, you guys are like, all right, Blue, do the thing, and he does the thing. He like yells into the air near him. All right, do it now. Then there's a pause. And then there's the sound of an explosion. Here's my question. Do you all stand close to the entrance?
No.
No? No, if you're asking the question, the answer is definitely no.
The last time they were gonna do something, Fang went and hid behind a pillar, and then they changed their mind. I think Fang would have gone and hid behind, like, this big rock or something.
Alright.
Ubrimah. If he decides to
Inside
walk away,
this.
Yeah.
then I will also walk
He'll-
away.
Yeah, he'll step away, sure. Anybody else? Everyone gonna go hide behind the rock?
Is that where everyone's going?
Looks like it.
I just followed Ubrimah.
Where's the door?
This is
at?
my
Is that
rock.
the door?
Yeah, the doorway is like right by this treasure hoard right here, I think. It was right over. It was right around here somewhere.
I assume the treasure hoard is gone because we took it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's
We've
just
been
for
behind.
reference.
Right. Okay.
Here, I'll tell you what. See if I can delete the treasure hoard.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why he'd be close. Well, except for he has to be somewhat close. He can't be more than 30 feet away, where the door goes away.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. He'll step
So
off.
Will
to,
will
like,
be in
the
front
side.
of him.
Okay, sure. Well, you want to be in front of him?
Like, feet planted, shield raised.
Feet planted, shield
Yes.
raised. Oh, buddy.
It's a tree joke, I think.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I didn't catch that. All right. So there's the sound of an explosion. Then a bunch of debris starts pouring out of the air. At first, it's probably just smoke and like flecks of stone. But the sound of the explosion doesn't just like boom and then stop. Like you don't get a sound. There's the explosion sound, and then it turns into a roaring, like screaming explosion. Rubble and stone and bits of marble start to fly out. They turn into smoke immediately as soon as they break the barrier. The sound of the roaring sound underneath the explosion gets louder. And over the course of a few seconds, it starts to sound less like an explosion or a fire and more like the screams of thousands of voices. Not saying anything comprehensible, just screaming in agony and pain. That's when some tentacles start to pour out of the air. Lots of them, lots of flesh, lots of flesh, just abomination bits start to pour forward from the opening in the air, the invisible portal.
Ubrimah, close the door.
Yeah, you don't have. You probably don't even have enough time to say that. The next thing that happens is so this time sort of like slows down for a minute, so we see you like raising your shield. We see Ubrimah like shielding his face, like putting his hands up in front of his face. What are you doing, Lumaki?
Behind Ubrimah.
Okay, yeah. You stand behind Ubrimah. These tentacles, huge tentacles too. Like we're talking like 8 feet thick or something, or 5 feet thick, pouring out. They're like reaching in all directions, sweeping around to try to grab you all. And then behind the tentacles is like fire. Maybe some of them are on fire. And we sort of get that, this is a callback, way back to Watum Tam when Vash had that vision of the tentacles in darkness, the flesh writhing in fire. We sort of see that image, the sort of like flesh amoeba in the darkness on fire as the tentacles are like writhing, and we hear that screaming sound. Then the light, there's like a bright white light behind the tentacles on fire, sort of washes over you all. It doesn't look good. You have an innate feeling of something horrible happening. The first thing I need is for all of you to make wisdom saves. You are witnessing a divine event.
Well, Lumaki, you have a +5, and so does Ubrimah.
Even the people who are behind rocks?
Nope.
Anyone who can see the light. If you're not looking, if you're behind the rock and you're not looking, you're fine.
I don't think Fang would be peeking their head over, because if there's an explosion, they don't want their ears to get singed.
Oh, no, Lumaki. Well, okay, inspiration. Okay, 20. All right. Lumaki got a 7.
No, wait.
+5.
12. Okay, so you're not killed instantly. That's good. Jesus Christ, Lumaki. Okay, so here's what happens. Lumaki, you drop to your knees and begin weeping and praying. You can't control this, it's just something you do. You are moved to a state of religious euphoria? Madness, basically.
a charm?
Is it a charm? That's a good question. Actually, yeah, it is technically a charm, I think.
I'm immune to charm.
Okay. Nothing happens to you. You're fine. Okay. Everyone else is fine. 20, 22, 25 crit from Sha'ah. All right. Tentacles pour out. Light shines all through the room. We see Egregore standing behind Will. And he's holding his hand out and screaming really loud. Will, you hear him screaming in your head. Now you hear Egregore screaming. You probably see him like standing beside you or behind you, like holding his hand out, like to try to do something. There's nothing coming from his hand, but he's like holding his hand out, palm up toward the tentacles in the portal, screaming really loud, like either like he's in pain or like he's going Super Saiyan or something. Okay. Then Egregore goes silent in an instant. His screen cuts off. He disappears. The tentacles dissipate into shadow. Dissipate into smoke, as if like something that was inside the mansion had left the mansion. And then there's silence for like 5-6 seconds. And then the orb falls out of the the invisible portal and lands on the ground in front of you, completely undamaged.
Well,
let me grab the orb. It's a good thing you guys left the mansion, I'll tell you that. That could have gone real bad for you all. Ubrimah says, well, it definitely destroyed that pocket dimension. Everyone okay? Looks around.
We're fine over here.
Looks around at everybody. There. I'll put the orb here. Yeah, I think everybody seems pretty okay. Will, you're not
Didn't
hurt.
realize I was muted.
Oh, okay. So, did you say something?
Yeah, he Will was asking if everyone was all right as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, everyone seems fine.
And then he says, "Egregore, are you there?"
Silence.
And now Will only has 3 days to live. Maybe a week at most.
Oh.
So Ubrimah, what happened there?
Ubrimah says, well, it didn't work, did it? The orb still has the flesh landscape in it, writhing around. Some of them, some of the like tentacles in the flesh landscape are probably like really near the view. Like they were coming out of it a minute ago or something. Like they're probably all around the whatever lens you're viewing through inside the orb.
Well, at least now we know what happens when we attack that thing.
Ubrimah says, I suspect it tried to defend itself.
So, the star one just pretended that it was hurt, whereas this one decided to attack? Is that am I understanding correctly?
Ubrimah says, I think so. It's possible. It seems like something else happened. Something stopped it somehow. The explosion didn't do it. It seemed like it only angered it. Something else stopped it. I'm not sure what or how.
So what now? Should we try focusing on getting out of here?
I think that's the only thing we could do.
Ubrimah says, are you going to take the orb with you then? Maybe there's another way.
Maybe we can take it to the Sealy Court and they can throw it at. What did you say to throw it at, Will?
Star?
Yeah, maybe they can throw it at a star.
Are we going to be leaving Onkeet and Tulpa to fend for themselves then?
No.
How are we going to do both?
Well, why don't we find Onkit first and get out of here?
Okay, but that would mean taking this thing back to the place where the flesh was, and I'm not comfortable with that.
Should we just leave it here?
Mom, could you find our friends and take them, like send us to the Feywild and then find our friends and take them to the Feywild?
You're asking Ubrimah this?
Yeah.
He says, he shakes his head no. He says, I can send you wherever you want to go. I can't go to the Feywild.
No, you don't have to go, but like, you send us and then you go find our friends and you send them.
If he gets summoned to heaven before then.
Yeah, basically. Also, people who work for heaven are only supposed to, especially bodhisattvas, are supposed to stay in the world. They're not supposed to go to, like, physically go to other planes. That's why Nurnum didn't really come with you guys until he was astral projected, right?
He's in a different plane now.
Yeah, but he's not. He just got his calling thing or whatever. He's not been resurrected yet, technically. Yes, but he's not going to go to the Fey Dark to save your friends for you. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
Can't you just put the orb in one of your bags?
That's not exactly safe. I mean, anyone can take something out of the bag if you know what's in there.
But
And
how
we
would they
will
know it's
never
in there?
Tell them.
How will they know it's in there?
Well, don't.
Ubrimah says, Well, they can't know what's in there, so it does make it slightly more secure. However,
Unless they make one of us tell them or find it out somehow from us.
Ubrimah nods, and then he says, or if they know how the bags work, there's another way to remove anything in the bag of holding. If you were to tear it, cut it, turn it inside out, it empties all of its contents. I think that's how it works.
It empties them all into the
astral plane.
Oh, it
astral
does?
plane, not where. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought if you turned it inside out, it empties all of its...
If you tilt it upside
falling
down
out on
or
the
turn it
floor.
inside out, yes.
Yeah.
But if you cut it or
Oh, okay.
put another
Damage it
bag
in
of
any
holding
way.
inside it or anything like that,
Yeah.
it does tear open, but all that stuff is lost in the astral sea instead of
And it blows up.
yeah, and it causes a big explosion.
Well, then there'd be one pissed off mass of tentacles in the astral plane. Well, it is a magic item, so it would be hard to tear it or damage it, I would think. It's not something you could just, like, cut with a regular knife, I don't think.
Yeah, I
Snore?
think you'd have to use magic to cut it.
Was that a dog
Sorry.
snoring?
Yeah, she decided to put her nose right on my arm next to my mic and start snoring. Sorry.
No, you're good. Okay. So you guys are talking about putting it in the bag of holding.
They are.
And now Ubrimah has given us a new idea, right? Because he's talking about how we can lose it.
Yeah, he said it's still possible to lose it. I guess he would just say if someone turns the bag inside out, it would empty all of its contents.
Right, and I mean, someone already tried to hide this thing away, and yet here we are holding it. It's been attempted. It didn't work.
But we don't know if they wanted to hide it from our enemies or from people like us. So we shouldn't leave it here.
I don't know what we could. If that didn't destroy it, I'm not sure what we can do to do that.
Ubrimah says, I agree with Fang here. Better protected by you lot than left here where anyone or anything could walk its way in and grab it. He says that we're only lucky that the dragon didn't try to use it for whatever reason.
How do we know that?
Well, I suppose we don't, but it seemed unaffected by it. If the dragon knew what it was dealing with, why not simply, in a state of desperation, attack the orb, have it take all of us out with it?
But I don't want to die.
Do I?
I still have to find Indigo, so I can't die until he's safe.
I'll be honest with you. I don't feel so much like that dragon was keeping it so much as it was guarding it.
Yeah, Ubrimah nods, perhaps. Let me do this. The treasure is now bothering me. I'm taking away the treasure. It is mine now. Here we go. It just seems risky leaving it behind. If
Well, I'm not saying we should leave it behind.
You know how I know how we can move to different places here? What if we moved it somewhere else? Could you move it somewhere else?
you're asking Ubrimah?
Asking Ubrimah. Somewhere else, like within.
The Ethereal?
Yeah.
Ubrimah says I could try. What if it's needed? What if you find a way to destroy it?
Come back and retrieve it.
Well, what if we just go to the Feywild, drop off the orb to what you call the Silly,
Yeah.
and then we know how to go back down to the Paydark. We can just go down the way we came from.
That took forever.
Rambling. Will is never going to let this orb go back to the flesh.
Yeah,
Seems
get
like
that.
a terrible idea.
seems like a terrible idea.
It is a terrible idea.
Yeah, I agree with you. So you want Ubrimah to take you guys all back to the Feywild? Then keep in mind that there was like an
Time
issue with
dilation.
time dilation. Yeah, like I'm just saying, if you go back to the Feywild, you may never see Tulpa and Ankit again.
Right.
Yeah. She's not good.
Maybe they'll find their way out.
I have a feeling we need Tulpa to destroy the orb, but I'm not taking that thing
Yeah,
back.
Tulpa needs you to accomplish what he's trying to accomplish right now.
Can anybody do what I do with Indigo with this stone? But not to Indigo. Can somebody talk to Ankit?
I'll try.
Like,
Okay.
You can
this
do
stone
that?
only talks to Indigo. Do you have something that would let you talk to Ankit?
Oh. Nope.
Fang's trying to see if anybody knows sending.
Oh my gosh, you guys
We
are
don't-
a riot.
We're not spellcasters.
But Ubrimah is. He might
What
know
about-
what Fang's trying to say.
I mean, if you're gonna send us somewhere, right?
He doesn't know Ankit.
Oh, that's true. You have to know them, don't you?
I think so.
That's what we've been talking about. Is you're talking about sending us where we need to go, right? And that means everything. I mean, I assume you can send objects. Why don't we just send the orb to we don't have to go. We just send it to the.
Let me see.
Yeah,
Really?
we can
Let me see if it'll work
wrap
with
it in a note.
objects. No, it won't work with objects. The target for the spell that will transfer you to another plane says the target is you and up to 8 willing creatures who link hands in a circle. You can't just send an
Put
object.
all the stuff.
Oh, then
on
what
this
if you
goes with
turn
this.
it into
Okay.
a creature and put a note in its pocket and then send it to them?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
That'll work out great. I'm sure turning the heart of the flesh into a creature will work out fine.
Turn it into a frog.
Is it not part of a creature?
Yeah, but I don't think it's
It's
considered a creature.
technically an object. Technically. But
Oh,
yeah,
what
I
about
Oh.
this? Turn one of these stones into a creature and have it take it.
Well, maybe we could just Fang, can't you summon that spirit, and then we send the spirit, and it can hold the orb?
Spirit probably has to be on the same plane of existence as you. I would imagine.
I don't know where the spirit goes when it's not here, but I don't know if it works like that. I don't see anything about me
One of
having
us
to
could-
be.
The other thing we could do is we could split up. I could take the orb back, find my brother, find a way to destroy it, and then try and find y'all again.
Also take our back.
Actually, wait. If I summon it in a certain way, I might be able to send it back for a minute. It would have a minute to do its thing.
But I thought if you don't summon it in that certain way, you get it for longer. It just takes concentration.
If I summon it in a way that requires concentration, it can be an hour. But if I summon it in a way that doesn't require concentration, it's only 1 minute. And I feel like if it requires concentration, it would probably have to stay on the same plane as me.
Oh, fair. I
Let's see
that's
the spell.
something, right? And can it speak? Can that thing
Oh,
like
it's right there.
communicate?
I never really stopped to talk
I
to it.
assume it knows languages. Probably knows Sylvan. Since it's
Only
face spirit.
knows certain. Let me pull it up. It knows Sylvan and understands languages that I speak, so I guess it could talk. Or maybe it just understands what I'm saying to it because I have to give it orders.
I'm gonna sound a little weird.
Okay.
The power just went out.
Oh, jeez.
I'm on my phone.
You sound way
Oh.
different.
Yeah, you were saying something. What did you say, Things? I missed it.
What? What?
Can it communicate? Is it the languages?
Oh, it does know Sylvan and whatever, and can understand whatever languages I speak, but I don't know if that's just for purposes of it knowing
With
or
orders.
being able to understand me to take orders, or if it can actually speak.
If it has a language it can speak, I think that's how that usually works. It
Then
has
it
to
can
say
speak Sylvan, and
knows
that's
it but can't speak is usually what
Oh,
they
okay.
say.
Well, then it knows Sylvan for sure, and then it can understand what I speak. I don't know if it
And
can
does
speak them.
Fang know this? Like, is she telling us this? That you're
Fang
telling us
doesn't
this?
summon it to sit around and talk to it. Fang summons it to help with
That seems
combat.
something that Fang would do, though. Just, oh, I need a friend.
Fang's usually got Indigo. I mean, I guess I could try.
I have this quill that we could write out a message and just send it with the thing, if it can't. Just like keep this safe. It's scary orb. Don't hit it.
Ubrimah says, I would just like to inform you all that the spell I can use to return you, I get 1 use a day.
Waited 1 day. Is that what you're saying?
He says essentially if we're sending you to more than one place or splitting you up, it's going to take some time before I can do it again.
That's probably worth being careful.
So, what is it going to be? Should we just send the person?
What's Sha'ah doing this whole time? Sha'ah, what are you? What is?
He's
What is?
contemplating.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about just forgetting about Ankit and Tulpa and leaving him there?
You know, he's thinking about like probably Garks. Maybe he could lead us somewhere, but he doesn't even know where Garks would be.
I don't think we're trying to leave Tulpa and Ankit. We're trying to figure out how to do both.
Right.
Go to them and not take the orb with us.
I don't think. I mean, you can do that. You have to leave the orb here or give it to Ubrimah. Right?
But he can't bring it to heaven, right?
Right. He would have to try to find a place to stash it before he goes to heaven. Meaning somewhere else here, probably, where he would not be here to guard it. Also, you would not be able to find it because you wouldn't even know where he put it because he's already plane shifted you, most likely.
Oh.
The reason it would take place in that order is because if he skirted the curtain, he might not be able to find you guys again.
Indigo said he was on a ship. I forgot to tell you because you were talking to me about something else, but he said he's on a ship and fighting something. But what if you send us to the Feywild or to Tulpa and Ankit, and then you go find Indigo, and you and Indigo find a place to stash it or somebody to guard it, and then you send Indigo back to us. And then he knows where it's at, so if we need to come back and find it somehow, we can.
He says,
I'm not sure that really solves the problem, Fang.
Why not? Then he's finding a place to put it so that it can't be found by bad guys.
Are there other people on this ship with Indigo?
I don't know, he didn't say. I'm waiting for him to contact me again so I can ask him.
Sha'ah,
Yes.
where was my brother last time you saw him?
In the Feywild.
Where specifically, though? Could you tell Ubrimah where specifically?
Let me think harder. Can I use like a check?
Sure, if you want to. You could also probably just say if you don't want to make the check.
Okay. He's in. Last time I saw him, he was in Lord Oberyn's castle.
Why not just send this to my brother then? And that way, there's no one I'd trust more with it, and it'd be easy to find. He'd have it.
Then we'd have to
Okay.
stay here a whole nother day so that he can send us to where we need to go.
We've been here a few days already. Is that going to matter?
We survived too.
And
I
now we
guess
have Ubrimah's blown up house. Is it still going to be blown up?
You make a new one?
Ubrimah says, I can make another. he does say that he does say, I'm not sure if everything will still be there. There were probably a few choice artifacts destroyed in that mess. But I can make another. Yeah. Do you guys want to leave off here?
It'll
Yeah.
give us time to think about what we're gonna actually do.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We can do that if this sounds good to you guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sounds good to me.
All right. We'll give you guys a week to figure out what to do with this orb you're pondering. Well, thank you guys for playing today. Hopefully next week we got Tim back. And thank all you guys for watching, and the institution for dropping by, and Maury. It's always good to see some familiar faces in here. So, this is usually the part where I start shouting things out. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find all the links I'm about to discuss in the description down below. Also, make sure you like and subscribe and comment and all that good stuff. Let's see here. First up.
I think this is the part where you usually forget experience.
All right. I'll give you guys all 3 XP for RP today. I'll give you guys all 2 XP for creativity and pondering the orb with the pit and the explosives and trying to come up with different ideas on how to deal with that.
Perfect time for that meme.
Yes. I think that's it. I think 5 XP is good for today.
Did we get like lore from heaven?
Kinda. I'll give you 1 XP for that heaven lore drop. Sure.
Did you level up, Will?
Oh no.
He's like, oh no,
Oh,
I'm
no.
not even
He
close.
still needs like 4 more
I need
after
4.
today.
Yeah.
After the 6. So
All right. There's your XP. You happy? You get negative 10 XP. I hope you're happy. For blowing up the mansion. All right. All right. So,
But we blew it up with style.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the tentacles robbed you of is XP. All right. I'm wearing a shirt today, by the way, that says I'm the DM. That's why. So new shirt. All right. So first up in the shoutouts today, if you're a fan of Orilyn Favyre, played by Ella, who played Fang today, and you like the Fang cartoon cat on screen that Ella is using, you can make one yourself. Check out Vroid's studio. Vroid.com/in/studio. Check it out. You make your own and all that good stuff. Ella makes her own. You can do the same. The portrait for Orilyn is made by Soriko. If you want to check them out, you can go to their DeviantArt page here, deviantart.com/Soriko. Let's see here. Okay. If you like Wolf here, who plays Vash, he played Will today. You can check out the portrait art for Vash at deviantart.com/Jessica Pegarero. What else we got here? You can also join our public Discord now. If you want to jump into Discord and yell at us, you can do so at the link here.
Or ask lore questions.
Or ask lore questions. I mean, probably yell at us, let's be honest.
Yeah, probably.
And what else is going on? The Patreon. I will get a link for the Patreon. The Patreon is starting to get up and going. So what we're doing is, if you're watching on YouTube, you might notice that some of the videos are bleeped and stuff like that. If you want to see the unfiltered versions, you can go to the Patreon, and for $3, you can see all of the unfiltered videos. And eventually we're going to add other tiers where you can get further access to like the lore channels, the table talking, planning parts of the Discord, even like a voice chat. We're planning on doing like a public voice chat for Discord patrons, all that good stuff. I feel like I'm missing something. If you wanna check out the music we used on the show, if you like the music we use, it is from Dark Fantasy Studio. You believe their website is darkfantasystudio.com. You can check them out there. And of course, I'm Ramblin. You can find me on twitch.tv/RamblinmanTV, RamblinmanTV on YouTube, on Twitter, on Minds, on Instagram, TikTok, Patreon now, Rumble, all the things. I am around. Look for me. Ramblinman TV. One word, no G. That's, I think, is that it? Is that everything? Oh, announcements for shows. So, Wednesday, we're having, with the Broken Crew, we're going to be playing either Broken or Urban Shadows again this week. I'm not sure which, but it will be at the same time at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific. Friday, we have Unknown New Orleans again this week, so you can catch us Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific. And of course, we'll be back with more Force of Flesh next week, Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. Does anybody else got anything? That is
Nope.
no. All right. Well, pleasure playing with you guys as always. Thanks for being here. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for watching. Everybody have a fantastic week, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.